Hi, this is Robin the Generous Stitcher. Third time's the charm in terms of this video. Let me get the things. I thought I was filming a video and then I realized that the camera was not behaving correctly. So it was like, oh, it timed out because it's not on. So I have a lot of whips to show you. I have been watching TV, so I've been putting time in on Fox and Rabbit Gathering of Acorns. This was an exclusive at the Acorn Gathering. Well, it's actually a gathering of nuts. That is our mini retreat at Acorns and Threads, and Fox and Rabbit were there remotely on the big screen, and so I have got the house mostly done, except for I'm working on the roof, and then I need to do the foundation and the steps that are like right here, and then I can work on all the acorns and the woman figure that's right over here. And so I have been filling in. If you can see the brighter white, that is eggshell, Classic Colorworks eggshell. That is the window pane in all those different windows. And so that's what I've been doing when I've been watching TV. The last, got a lot of that done this weekend. And then, and this is on up in the attic, which is a Fox and a Rabbit color. It's Ada, and I can't recall if it is 18 or 16 count, probably 18, but not sure. It doesn't look that small. Maybe it is though. And I keep it in this little bag that we got as a gift at the mini retreat by Corey Creates. Is it Corey Stitches? She does project bags, and she is a finisher for Acorns and Threads. So this was a little gift we got, and I find it really good to keep this in and keep it by my recliner, and the cats can't get into it. And they're sleeping on the bed right now, so maybe they'll come up. We've had an issue with ants, and so they've had their food on this table, like right on the other side of the camera, and that's worked out okay for them and the ants, but it gets all sorts of stuff like little bits of cat food and dust up here, so I don't want to stitch up here. And so I wiped the table off and moved the cat food down temporarily to the floor. Hopefully the ants won't find it. We've had a problem because some of the things we've done normally to take care of ants in this part of Oregon have not worked so well, because our cats, if it's a plastic doohickey, they're playing with it. And so the ant bait traps are like, oh, this is a new cat toy. Oh, it's got sticky liquid, and now my paws are sticky. I don't care. Bat, bat, bat. And so it's just been frustrating because, and it, for a long time, maybe 6 months, the ants did not know where their cat food was, but they discovered it about 10 days ago or so, and it was bad. So anyway, they sometimes are on this table, but they don't tend to make it the way this table is constructed. I don't think they can actually successfully climb up here. So anyway, the next piece, I didn't actually think I was going to get a chance to stitch on this, but I finished just a tiny little bit during lunch today. This is Mystic Fabric of the Month, Unmellow Yellow. It's 36 count linen, and I am stitching a Lindy Stitches airmail, which is Japanese bantam. This is a Christmas gift for my great niece because she loves chickens. And so I got the price of the airmail stamp, and I had done the border a while back, and so I've this one's kind of been in a timeout because I was sort of frustrated with the 49 cents. So I worked on it today and said it's gonna happen today, and I don't care if it's not quite like the pattern, but it's close enough. People won't certainly in my family, won't notice or care. So anyway, I hope to, gosh, get stitching on that stupid chicken. I mean, yeah. So that's going to be a lot of variegated threads. So I'm going to be doing the one cross at a time. So that'll be fun and challenging. I want this to be definitely a focus piece in the next couple months, because I want to get it done so it can be finished. I purchased from Chantel, is it 1441? I could never remember. So I did purchase her barn outline, and I have a friend who does wood finishing. She loves to do that. So I bought other finishing things that I'm going to show during my curated cross stitch collection. And she and I are going to have a paint day where I go to her house, and I think it's in her garage, and we're just going to paint all these little forms for the 3 things that I want to finish with these wood finishes: the chicken, the Acorns and Threads Pinwhist small giveaway, and which I can show some of the form for that in a bit. And then I bought 2 because I'm going to do that for me, and so probably start that small next year. So third whip is I've been working on this Cardinal Biscornu, and you can see it's on, yeah, you can see on this sliding, good. This is how I knew that the camera was not functioning, because the sparkles were not sparkling. And so I was happy I got the cardinal done. I got all the branch done. I started working on the ornaments, especially this one around and this one. And so this is one corner, and these ornaments are oriented, so at least those 2 are oriented for the next cardinal, who starts right in here. And so really, truly, Tiny Modernist did a great job on this pattern, because all the symbols are in an orientation that you can actually read them. And so I'm going away, stitching away, and I realized that for this ornament I'm not crossing my X's correctly, and so and the white was not working right. I got the top of this I did wrong, which the top is like at this end, because that'll be that orientation for the next bird. And so I just decided to give this a little timeout. And I'm going to get back to it this week, because it's really, this is on 32 count Lugana, and it's really easy to stitch on. I'm finding the 2 Luganas that I have, which I believe are both Zweigart, they're easy to stitch on. They're just as easy as Ada, and for me. And so anyway, it's a good piece. I've even stitched in front of the TV with this piece, and that seems to work out okay. And then I will show you the pattern. So this is the pattern, and like I say, this you can see the cardinals are going in different orientations, and because there's actually 4 of them. One of them you just can barely see on this edge. So I'm working on one of them. I'm moving on to the Christmas ornaments, and you can see how with this cardinal here, the Christmas ornaments are like 90 degrees from this particular cardinal, whereas this Christmas ornament is the same up and down orientation as the cardinal. So it's a little bit disconcerting and confusing, but fortunately, like I say, her pattern shows the symbols all in a readable direction, and I'm kind of, it's one of those things where you think, okay, there are no cross stitch police, but it really bugs me if my X's are not in the same orientation. So that's kind of where I've gotten a little upset. And even thinking, oh, this ball here for this cardinal is just, whoops, this ball here for this cardinal, it's just not working, and I'm just gonna rip it out and redo it. But then I'm like, no, just stitch over or stitch something. So anyway, yeah, that's why this is in timeout. And when my attitude toward it improves, I hope later this week I will stitch it. So that's my plan, because this is the piece that I want to finish in July, or certainly by the beginning of August, because there may be a finishing class and I want to have it ready for that class. So since I finished the June piece, I've been thinking about, well, what else can I stitch on that's fun that I don't necessarily have as a gift? And I have, besides the Japanese bantam, I have 2 bibs that I'm going to be doing in the fall. So it takes me about 2 weeks to knock out a bib, so I don't need to start those anytime soon, but I do need to finish the Japanese bantam. And I need to work on some larger gifts that I've sort of put down. And so I haven't picked those up. And having the cat food on this table so I can't use my big lamp, that's a problem too. So hopefully we've come up with a solution with the cats and the ant traps, and we're gonna see if it works after this weekend. So anyway, so the next whip that I've been working on is, if I can get to the right, the page with the picture and not the pattern. So this is actually a Xerox from Just Cross Stitch. I believe it's, December 2023. My friend stitched this. I loved it. I said it'd be perfect in the cat bathroom with the colors. It would just be perfect. And so she lent me her magazine, and then I went into Acorns and Threads a couple weeks later, and they had a back issue that came in. So I picked it up, and I have a copy of it. This is also as either a pattern, I don't know if it's a kit, but it's definitely a pattern by Bothy Threads. And so the snuggle is real. And so I'm doing it on Mint Splash. This is also a 32 count Lugana. And this is the heel of the slipper. So I am in this corner, and I've got pretty much the bottommost stitch of the slipper, of the sole of the slipper. So which is kind of, actually need to unfold it so you can see there. I've got the slipper, the heel, which is closer to my hand, and then the toe, which is at the far end. And that is as far as the bottom couple rows of stitching go. And so like this, again, this is 32 count Lugana. I'm finding it just as easy as Ada to stitch on. So it's a good, slow stitching in front of the TV piece. And I'm hoping, I counted up, and I actually have, normally I'm doing gifts and things, and I've actually counted up, and I have 3 cat bathroom pieces that I'm working on. And I have one that's a bit farther along than this, but it's a lot bigger than this. In terms of the number of stitches, it's got more stitches in it than this piece, but it, like I say, it's a bigger piece. So I didn't think I was going to finish that as soon as I would finish the Snuggle is Real. And Snuggle is Real is a lot of confetti, and but it's not bad, it's really not bad in terms of a confetti piece. So last but not least, this is the piece that I hoped I was going to get more done on this weekend, having Juneteenth was really fun because I was able to go to the shop on Thursday because they had one of their third Thursday stitch groups, which I've never been to because I work and I'm working on Thursdays. So, but it was fun, and so, and I this is a milestone in terms of my skill as a stitcher. You know, I've said this before, you don't know what you don't know. This is, gosh, is that the back? No, it's just small. So, oops, sorry. It's waving at you. So this is the border at the bottom. And so what I didn't know how to do, and I had a friend of mine show me how to do this, and I'll show you the back. My friend showed me how to do a loop start where you make a loop with your floss, and then you can start, and now it's kind of hidden, but right there is a knot with the orange thread. So I made a loop start, and then I was able to do the orange in the bottom. And you can see this border, it's discontinuous stitches. So there was really no way to like start in the ditch and do it that way, which is what I normally do. And then I was able to do another knot start, which I'm not sure not sure where the knot is. Actually, it might be underneath. I was kind of trying to do, I actually started it in the wrong place. So the start of the border is actually this first, oops. Yeah, this first orange is the start of the border, but I actually put a purple one in front of it. So it'll just have an extra little stitch that's not really part of the border that looks wonky. But this piece is Flamingools, which was a 2023 Nashville release by Ardith Designs. And so it is a wonky piece, and I am using specialty threads that were limited edition for Nashville 2023. And you know, some of the called for, this is mostly DMC, and but I have picked out specialty threads that, you know, they were available when I got this pattern. So I was like, oh, hey, specialty thread, that'll be this pumpkin, or that'll be this purple umbrella. So, and then I picked up some other specialty threads that I liked, like that purple. That is definitely not a called for, but I thought it was gorgeous. So, so anyway, this is my have fun with it. I do want to give it to a friend of mine that lived in Florida for a long time, and she, you know, like I have a cat bathroom, she has like a flamingo bathroom, and likes flamingos. So I've given her some flamingos over the years, but I've never stitched one for her. So that's my plan. If I can finish and this is not a big piece. It's kind of a small. Let me look at the stitch count. Okay, it's 71 wide by 11 and 10 high. So, you know, it is this orientation. So it's kind of half of a small. So, and it's not full coverage. You can see, you know, there's all this space in between is just the fabric. So, oh, and I'm stitching this on 36 count Medusa's Gaze by Lap and Loops, and which is just gorgeous. It's a purple model, and in some lights it looks really dark, like right now, and you know, it looks really dark, but in other like lighting situations it looks like you can barely see the purple. So it kind of depends on the light, how dark it really looks. And this Lap and Loops Medusa's Gaze was available in 2024 Nashville release. So I'm hoping this will not crash into the camera tripod. I don't think so, think I'm good. So anyway, I have a ton of Curity cross stitch collection, and I had a giveaway this month. Actually, I think like at Memorial Day Memorial Day, I selected the person. I've mailed their giveaway. I have no idea how long that's going to take to get there, but it's in the mail. So I've picked up quite a few things, and one of the things, I think last time I showed you something that I got as a giveaway on the Blue Flowers website. Well, the same week, and I thought I really should have got a lotto ticket, was it was Just Keep Stitching's anniversary episode, and they were doing a bunch of giveaways, and I won the first one, which was the kitty bundle. And this kitty bundle had a project bag with cats, and the inside is a white heart. It's fairly white, might be kind of a cream color, but and so it came with this, what are these called? Like a thread bed for stitching, which I don't have one of these. I've only got a couple pieces where it might be more useful, because I do bobbinate quite a bit, but I will make use of that. And so I got a set of Val stuff, and I had never heard of this designer. And this is a bunch of cats that for every season. So, and they came with the original button that was the appellation, or the doohickey that you got to put on this pattern. So these are little cats, smalls, and there's one for every month of the year. So, January, February, which I kind of like February. March, which is really something. Is this March? Yeah, they weren't stacked in order when I got them, so I put them in order. And this is April, and May, and oops, June was sticking to May, or rather I was holding them tightly together. So June, like June. July, which I like watermelon, and I don't know if my cats like watermelon. I don't think I've ever given it to them. August, that's fun, with the little button, which is it's a little sailboat. So this is the cat at the beach. And then September is sort of back to school. It's like a little pencil. So is the button. So let's see. Sorry, and then October with the candy corn. Love candy corns. Not so much to eat. I mean, I'll eat them. I don't dislike them, but I like candy corn as a decoration. And then November and December. So that's the set. And right now I'm just keeping it in the bag. Grandma's Treasures is the Etsy shop, Etsy and Facebook. So anyway, it's great to have another project bag, and especially one with cats. And so then put that over here and then stop stacking stuff on it. There was, oh shoot, there was something I was going to show and I forgot to get the rest of it out. But anyway, let me grab some more stuff. So I'm wondering, I'm going to show you the full price stuff. So I got 2 of these birdhouse. These are from Paisley and Polka Dots. And so I have one of the Feathered Friends series that I made as a small for Pinwis this year. And so that part stitched. I didn't stitch the month, so I think I'm going to need to stitch the month in the next month or so. It's just a tiny little label. The rest of this pattern is stitched. So so people can do this white and leave some of the wood, the wood finish as it is. And so this is like what do they call that stuff? Like it's pressed board. So anyway, I got 2 of these, one for me to keep and one to give away when I finish it, which will be before Pinwis. And like I say, my friend loves doing these wood finishes, and so she's got all the paints at home. So I said we need a day where I come over and we paint, and because I've got 2 and I'm ordering the 3rd, which is the barn piece from Chantel. So yeah, I need to do that. And so then in my box at the shop, let's make sure I got all the, oh, here it is. Good. I was going to show that together with something else. Yeah, put it there for now. So Jeanette Douglas came to Acorns and Threads at the end of at the beginning of April, and I was able to take her Count Be Correct sampler and smalls class with specialty stitches. Lovely person, just amazingly sweet person. Like, yeah, just like you're her, you're her dear friend for life. Just saying hello to her. She is just that sweet of a person. And so anyway, we had a bunch of her model stitches at the shop, and so and I think one of my friends actually did some model stitching, maybe for the shop. I don't think it was for her directly, but it was her pieces, and so a bunch of different. It was almost like a trunk show because they had all these model stitches and things that she'd done in the past. And so one of the things she had done was this Seasons by the Shore series. So Spring by the Sea, Winter by the Sea, I'm going in reverse order here, Autumn by the Sea, and Summer by the Sea. And these together can make a giant sampler. So Summer is the left-hand corner, and Autumn is the right-hand upper corner, and then Winter is the lower right-hand corner, and then Spring is the lower left-hand corner. So that might be the first one I start because I like starting in the bottom left. So I didn't get any fabric for this particular piece, but I did purchase all of the specialty thread packs. So this is Winter, and this is with the specialty threads. It's with the beads and if there's like little other things besides beads, and the metallic thread. So that's Winter. Just pulling these out in no particular order. This is Autumn by the Sea, the thread pack for this, again with the beads and all the stuff. And when this came in and they told me, hey, it's waiting for you in your box, I was like, okay, no problem. And then I came in and tried to check out, and it was like a huge amount. So I was like, okay, can I do this in installments? And they were like, yeah. And but then this month I was like, no, I'm going to pay all my debts to Acorns and Threads, which I normally don't carry debts with them, except for maybe signing up for a class or a retreat and then paying the balance before it's due at some later point. And it was like Acorns and Threads was due for the Pinwis, and I wanted to pay. There's a class I signed up for in October that is Berlin work with a wool fabric. So that's due in August, and I wanted to pay it all together, but oh well, I can swing the balance in August. So Summer by the Sea, again with all the, you can't see the beads and the doohickeys, they're at the bottom there. So, and then Spring by the Sea, again with all the specialty threads and beads and stuff. So that is almost kitted except for having a fabric to put it on. And I'm gonna have to think about, it's done on Zweigart Silk Weaver Meadow Mist, 32 count. I like 32 count. So I don't know if I will do it on that. It looks like a very white fabric, which I have no problem with because to me white is a really good neutral. It's not beige. So yeah, so I will maybe talk to some friends about it. I have a couple friends at Acorns and Threads who actually have done this, so I might talk to them about what they did, and figure out what to buy for this. This is something that I am not going to start anytime soon. I have got too many sampler-esque things on, that I'm working on. So this is probably going to be started a couple years, 2-3 years from now. But I have it all. So, and then since this month was for our coupon book at Acorns and Threads, it was floss month, and I didn't need to buy any pretty pink and purple flosses, but I did anyway. So just because it was like, okay, extra 20% off floss. I don't have, there's only one here that I needed for a pattern, and the funny thing was I finished the pattern using the DMC alternative, and I thought, well, I'm going to need this for something else. And so I was like, okay, I'll pick up a skein of it. And then I got home and I realized that a pattern that did call for it, I already had a skein of it. And I didn't know I had the skein of it, or I would have stole that from the other pattern to use on the Winter's Blessing or Winter Blessings. I always put the S on the wrong word. So I would have swapped it to finish that pattern, but I didn't know I had it, so I didn't do it. And then when I went to the 1120 Crafter retreat on May 3rd with Beth Twist, and I saw all of her biscornus that she'd finished, that she basically keeps things in a giant laundry basket in her house. So she basically emptied the laundry basket onto a table and then rearranged them creatively. And so Flanders Field is a ginormous, it's like probably a teenage muffin, okay? If you've seen Blue Flowers Festive Forest, this biscornu is, it's like, yeah, so that's probably half the size of a muffin, the muffin that she did, which was sort of like, what did I call that? If a biscornu and something else had a baby. That was my, this is what this is, but then they came up with muffin as the title of the object. So anyway, Flanders Field, this is originally stitched on 36 count Confederate gray, and I have this piece of leftover Vapors now with the small that I finished cut out of it. I do not know This is 101 by 101. I'm going to have to do the math, but if it fits on this, if I have enough space to stitch it, then I'll do it on this piece of Vapors, because I didn't have anything in particular for the Vapors, and I was done with it for the Winter's Blessing piece. So I showed it to a friend when I was there on Thursday, and she thought that'd be great. I just don't know if this is big enough. I'm kind of worried it's not big enough, considering how big the Biscorno actually was. And if that was model stitched on 36 and this is 28, yeah, it's gonna be an issue if it's gonna be small enough or not. So anyway, that's a possible plan. Okay, I feel unsafe having all this lovely floss just sitting out here on the table. So I'm gonna shove it back in the project bag where I had it hidden, or at least cat inaccessible. And so I need to find a place to stick all this stuff that I kind of went a little crazy, because the white dresser is still huge. It's still really full. And yes, I do have 2 or 3 empty project bags now to put stuff in, but that's not, this needs a big project bag. And so, and anyway, oh, and then when I was there, I went there Thursday, and I took care of, like I say, all my Acorns and Threads cross-stitch debt. And then there was this piece of Manny Di Donna linen. Never heard of this. This is Halloween evening. It's so it's, get back here. It is sort of a tan, like a dark tan brown model with some purple modeling splotches. And the piece itself was $30, which, that's not bad. That's about typical for particular piece this size. It is 32 count linen. And when you spend money at Acorns and Threads, they kind of keep a tally, so that if you spend, I think, $150, then you get $15 off your next purchase. So I had a $15 coupon. So this beautiful piece of linen cost me $15. And I told a friend of that, and she just burst out laughing. So before the end of this video, I'm going to stop it and restart it to show the stuff that's in my hand. So the other thing that Acorns and Threads has been doing for the last week or two is they have like 47 pages on their website. It may be more or less now, but 47 pages of photos of patterns. And one Friday evening, when I didn't have anything, or actually it wasn't Friday evening, it was Wednesday before Juneteenth, so it felt like a Friday, because Juneteenth was on Thursday this year. And so I didn't have anything better to do, and I just got on my computer, went to the Acorns and Threads site, hit the shop button, and I thought, oh, there's a sale tile. So I hit the sale tile, and then it had 47 pages of pictures of patterns that were 30 to 50% off. And so I went through them, and I wrote a list, and then I found everything but 2, and they probably were sold out by then. And some of these, it was, only 1 left. And so I got 3 needlepoint, because this is a Holiday Delights. This is from Needle Delights Originals, which is Kathy Reese is the designer. So this is Holiday Delights. It's the 4th of July. I really liked that. And I showed it to my spouse and he liked it too. And then, of course, pink. This is Rosetto. And this is Amethyst Garden. So colors I love. So these are going to go in a different spot than the white dresser because my needlepoint, which someday I will do. I hope I don't wait till retirement to start it, but I did needlepoint, or a relative of mine was doing needlepoint back in the 70s at some point. They were maybe doing a seat, you know, a chair seat. And I remember sitting there and helping them, you know, like with the needle and the canvas. Just one evening when we were over visiting. But I liked it, so it was like, okay, I'm going to do this someday. And so, like I say, they were out of the things that I didn't have, like, I think I had less than 20 things on my list. So, but then I found one thing that was not on my list that I liked, which is my first Heaven and Earth design, Carly Cat, artwork by Joe Lynch, chart design by Michelle Sieta, and so a cat piece. It's 218 by 288, and I have a friend or two that do Heaven and Earth designs, and you know, that's another one of my aspirational things. And then I went through my list. They did have some Sambry stitches that I had and that I didn't have. I didn't have this one, which is Bigfoot in Summer, which I love it because he's got one of those big, like, bomb popsicles. Love it. And of course it's got a flamingo. I'm kind of in a flamingo mood lately. So got that. I have like the Christmas one, which is a little pillow. I have like a sampler. Actually, I have 2 Bigfoot samplers by that designer. And I have like a nature, non-Bigfoot nature scene that she did, and a couple other Bigfoot things, I think. And then they had, I had on the list 2 Carolyn Manning designs. I think this might be the second or third Carolyn Manning I've ever bought. There was one that was like, I think purple or red or something. That maybe it was pink. It was sold out. So I got this turquoise one. I think was maybe the last one. I saw this and didn't put it on the list, but then I saw it in person and I was like, you know, it's Cat, it's Biscornu, it's Stitchy Pros. What's not to love? And I know a couple of my friends got luminous fiber arts from the clearance bins, and so I got this one, Stashing Squirrels, because I have a friend who likes squirrels and I need to stitch her stuff. And then for me, I decided the cat bathroom probably needs a small basket, a smalls basket, I should say. And so this is Michelin for Cat by Fairy Wool in the Wood, which is another designer I had not ever seen or heard of. I went back later to try and get a second copy of this because it comes with a little cat charm. This is like a heart with a cat paw, but they were out. I think this was the last one that I got. And I showed some other people this one and they loved it. And I'm looking at the fabric going, oh, I've got fabric like this. Or we can come up with some other kind of fabric. So anyway, yeah, Michelin Guide for Cat. So the only thing I would do differently for this is I don't really like lace that much, so I'd probably find some other, like maybe some velveteen ribbon or something. And then Fox and Rabbit. I don't recall if I have any of their other patterns besides the Gathering of Acorns. Maybe 1 or 2. But anyway, this is their sampler, Botany Bay sampler, and I saw it and I thought, you know, I have a ton of samplers, I don't need more, but this, you know, historically is significant, and I liked it. I liked the construction of the sampler, and how it has a DMC conversion, because it has a bunch of different specialty threads that it uses. So this is another one of those pieces that will be a long time before I start it, because I kind of have told myself I need a moratorium on samplers and biscornus, because I think I have sort of like the limit of what I can probably stitch in my lifetime of both of those. So although I know I'm going to see more, so I'm going to stop now. And oh, I have one more thing. One more thing is my friend Lisa made me this fabric with cats, and it is a bag to protect my portable magnifier. So I actually had it with me, and so I actually had to the way I had the magnifier on was like 90 degrees to the stick, so I had to put it on parallel to the stick so it would fit this, because we were like trying to put it on and it was not working, and she's like, oh no, I did it the other way, and I'm like, wait a minute, these unscrew and we can put it the other way so it'll work. So I like this. This Vivilux is a great travel piece. I love their lamp. The battery lasts for like a 3-day retreat, as long as you're not using it all the time. Or, well, actually, I was using it all the time, but I would turn it off when I would leave the ballroom to, you know, eat or go sleep. But it basically lasted from Friday afternoon when we got to Cannon Beach, and turning it off when I left, you know, for the evening, and through all day Saturday, and then Sunday morning, like 10 minutes, like at 10:30, like 30 minutes before the retreat was over, that's when the battery conked out and the light went off, and I had it fully charged when I went there. So I have other friends that I see with other kinds of lights, and their batteries do not last. And I have a power brick, you know, just in case, but this brand, the lights work. The only issue I've had is with these magnifiers. I had 2 magnifier pieces that I bought with the box of stuff that I got from them, and one of them like snapped, and I'm not really sure how that happened. It was in a bag, so it probably just got to where it was too much pressure put on it and it snapped. So this one this is the only one I have left, so I try to like make sure it's not where it's gonna be in a position where it's gonna snap. So all right, now I'm gonna stop and come back and show my my plan for the fabric of the month for June, which I already did, but I have all 3 patterns I want to stick on this piece of fabric, and so we can see if that might happen. I really need to call Mystic Fabric and see if they have another piece of that fabric of the month that I could purchase, because it doesn't have to be 36 count, it could be 32, and I'd be happy. So anyway, be back in a minute. Okay, so earlier this month I showed you Sweet Summer by Tiny Modernist, and this is going to go on this piece of double diamond, which you can see even through the plastic. It's a neutral with splashes of tropical turquoise, purple, sort of a yellowy green. This is called double diamond, and of course I get 36 count linen. So this piece is 18 by 27, and so lengthwise, I believe this Sweet Summer will go there, along See the bottom. And then I thought, well, this is gorgeous, and I really, really want to, you know, I'll use half of this for the bottom for the Sweet Summer piece, and then will these other two pieces go in the top corners? And so what is the stitch count on this one? So this is Stitches by Ethel, Seaside Flamingos. And sorry, someone's outside. Oh, they're going past. I thought maybe it can't be my spouse because he works late tonight. So I want to see what the stitch count is for this flamingos. It doesn't look very big. In fact, oh, let's see. Oh, it's 90 by 60. It's kind of big. But again, it's 60 this way, 90 that way. So it could probably go in this other corner, and then this one is, this was actually stitched on, this is 149 by 61. So this is 8, like 8 1/3 by 8 1/3 inches by widthwise by 3.4 inches high. So okay, that can fit in one of these corners. And this one doesn't have a I'm gonna have to do the math on one of those website things. So this was, what was it again? It was like 60 by 90. Yeah, 60 by 90. So if 60 by 90, 60 is roughly 3.4, 3.5. So that's the height. So that would go there. And then it would just be like 150 by 90, and the two would be fighting in the middle as to who got the whole piece. So anyway, so that's, you know, Sweet Summer along the bottom. And if I'm remembering correctly, Sweet Summer, the height is about 70, and the length is the whole, would be the whole length of this fabric. So this is going to be a messy illustration here, but okay. So I'm going to do this so you can see what I'm visualizing here. And I'm going to see on my video editing what the nightmare this actually looked like. So, but you can see it's, yeah, okay, maybe I should have done that to begin with. Seaside Flamingos. So you see I have a little bit more space, but these are long, all three are long, narrow pieces. So I think I can definitely fit both of the bigger pieces on this. I don't know if I could fit the smaller piece. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do the math. Because yeah, that's 8. This is 27, so that's 8, and this one's shorter than that one. Yeah, I think I can fit them all. I think I can do the math and fit them all. So that's that's exciting, because I'm in this Fabric of the Month club. I'm doing these pairings, and it was like when I got this piece, I was like, I know at least 2 things, and then 3 things that I want to do on this, and I love it, and it's like, so I really need to call the shop and say, hey, can you get more of that, or is it all gone, or can you do it in the future? Because I want to buy some more of it, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, all right, now I'm going to take all 3 patterns and the fabric and stick them in the project bag to keep them together. I mean, and just think of it. I mean, you could even stitch 3 at once. That'd be crazy. Maybe I'm crazy enough to do that. Right, maybe. So, all right, so I've shown you all my stuff. I've shown you all my whips and I've talked about my plans. There is a class at Acorns and Threads this coming weekend. I had a family issue that came up, so I had decided that I didn't want to go to this class. I'd learned similar things at a different class, and or at least analogous kind of things at a different class, and I decided that I just didn't want to do that. And I think 3 of my Salem Area Stitcher friends are going to be there. I believe that that part of the class is sold out, which is great because it was kind of slow, I think, in terms of the number of people signing up, but then it filled up, and I'm very happy for Janine at Acorns and Threads for that, because they do a great job. I mean, it's always fun to go to a class there. It's fun to do retreats with them, and so the Berlin class is at the beginning of October. I don't know how many seats remain for that. I purchased it like a day or 2 after it came out. I was sort of on the fence because I have a slight wool allergy, and so I need to talk to them about, is there something I can stitch on instead of the called for wool blend. It's basically, the wool blend is the fabric we're going to be stitching on. It's not the flosses. The flosses that I purchased are going to be silk. And so anyway, I just, the pattern itself is really cute. It's based on like a reproduction, and it's a small, so it's something that I can do and, give as a smalls exchange. And then if I want to do one for me, I can do it later, because I'll have silks and I have other silks at home. So anyway, the other thing that's coming up is, and the card is right over there, I believe it's the 19th and 20th of July is the Midsummer Stitch. I was on the fence about whether I was going to be available that time, but it turns out my Tai Chi instructor is at a martial arts conference. I think it's martial arts. It could be a work conference. I think it's martial arts though. And so, yes, because she sewed herself some pants that were really cool, and I was like, can you make me some of those? And she's like, no. And so I'm gonna have to get her pattern and find somebody else to sew with or for me. Yeah, so the Saturday of the Midsummer Stitch, we're not having class. So I'm like, great, I can sleep in, I can go to the online virtual retreat, or maybe I don't sleep in and I just go listen to the designers do their pair off interviews live, which is fun. So either way, whether you watch it live or recording later, it's fun. So that is coming up in July. And the Salem Area Stitchers are going to have an in-person meetup. Is it July 12th? Yes, July 12th, which will be great because July 10th is a big thing I do at work every year, and I'm going to be exhausted. And thinking, how can I wangle another day off, like the day after, or maybe I can wangle half a day because I'm going to be so tired. And so then the in-person retreat on July 12th will be fun to stitch at and spend time with friends. And I kind of decided that maybe the July 12th retreat, I'm going to take some big photo boxes I have of all my specialty stitches, and maybe a bunch of project bags with specialty stitch in them. And then I'm going to go there and I'm going to download Notion onto my phone, and I'm going to inventory all my flosses, because I need to do that now that I've got spreadsheets for all the fabric, all the patterns, all the kits, all the magazines, and I'm working on putting all the books in. I've got some of the books in. So, you know, the spreadsheets have really benefited me as a stitcher, because it keeps me focused on what I need to work on, shows me the last time I touched something, and is motivating me to touch things more frequently. Also making me notice what things I don't want to touch, but you know, that's probably okay for most things. And then, you know, it lets me buy stuff like this because it isn't orange. I have a bunch of orange fabric, which I love the orange fabric, but anyway, so yeah, and I know that, oh, I have a piece that's white that I could probably use for that biscorno, but I probably don't have any other pieces of white fabric that I could do for the biscorno. So yeah, so I try to shop my stash. When I get a new pattern, I don't think about, oh, well, let's go buy something else. I think about, oh, if I'm going to buy this pattern, it's going to go on such and such fabric that's in my stash, because that's kind of how I roll. So this one by Fox and Rabbit, I was in the shop and they had this butterscotch fabric that I had never seen that, but it was like streaks of yellow, kind of like this fabric. It was not a Fox and Rabbit fabric. I think this is, Picture This Plus is what the model stitch was done on. And I believe I only have I have a bunch of opalescent Picture This Plus, but I may only have like one piece of Picture This Plus or two pieces that are not opalescent modeled. So that are like more normal colors. And so, although one of them might be sea green, now they think about it. But anyway, so I was like at the shop thinking, oh, you know, I didn't bring this back with me. I don't know how big it is. I don't know what size of, you know, this butterscotch fabric might really look good on, you know, this might look good on that. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of like one thing with the spreadsheets. I can shop my stash, and I really need to do this for the flosses, because, you know, then I know I'm not going to need to buy, you know, 5 skeins of Jelly Roll Classic Colorworks, or Blackberry, or boysenberry, or raspberry. I love the berries, you can tell. I love to eat them, and I love to stitch the colors. So, yeah, so that's some things. Oh, shoot. I'm going to be inserting a picture of a 5-pack of patterns I bought. Did I? No, I did not print out the picture. I just have it on my phone, and I sent it to some friends. So I went to Stitch Group last week, or I actually Zoomed. I was really tired. I went to the Thursday Stitch at the shop, and then when I came home, I was like, I'm too tired to drive like at night, and so I'm gonna just Zoom stitch with Salem Area Stitchers. And so one of the Salem Area Stitchers was like, Robin, I found the perfect pattern for you and Riley. So Riley is a technical person too, and they are a business analyst, which they work with computers for another state agency. I work with business analysts at my state agency, so I know the kind of people on the IT team, and, you know, have friendships with them. And so Riley is an awesome cross-stitcher doing heaven and earth designs. And not just that, but that's one of the things. So Riley knows all of the apps like Notions, and So they were showing us how to like set this up. So I'm hoping that they're going to be at the Salem Area Stitchers retreat on the 12th, because I think I can download the stuff myself and do that. You know, I'm not that tech, you know, I'm semi-tech savvy. You know, I code, but, you know, sometimes with apps, I'm not like, you know, I'm a boomer. I'm not gonna use that as an excuse for not being tech savvy, because I was writing computer code in 1982, okay? And my first computer I owned was in 1988, okay? So I'm been doing this a long time. The only reason I don't game like my husband is I stitch. I like creating something rather than just spending hours. And so anyway, this friend of ours showed me and said, I thought of you two. These are perfect for you two. And it was a pattern that said, like, there's a spreadsheet for that, or, well, that was one of them. Or, yeah, you know, there was, I bought the 5-pack. I'm going to show the picture and you'll immediately see why. So, but I've been using my spreadsheets. I've been taking them. Sometimes I'll take a copy with me to Stitch Group, so people know I'm using my spreadsheets. I'm sharing my spreadsheets. I've shared them with 2 Stitchers, and you know, and I don't care if they use them or not, because it's just a tool and it's my tool, and I'm getting a lot of use out of it for me. If somebody else wants to use it, that's great, and I'll share, because it's just an Excel spreadsheet. It's not like it's copyrighted. Anyway, so I'll show the picture and I'll say goodbye, and I'm sorry the cats are still in my bed sleeping, I think, which is probably good, and good. It's a little later than I thought, so I need to, that's because I worked late. So anyway, I'm going to start my edit and get this thing on sometime before Friday. It will be hitting YouTube. So great to spend time with you.